tonight.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
maybe the Vikings will replace Big Bro with Little Bro.
you went to Georgia. Go figure. We're loving on Georgia, guys. Watch us trade up for George Pickens tonight. Really
Dude,
going for the trifecta for Georgia.
I I feel pretty confident that we are going to try to move up in round two to
Hmm.
secure a wide receiver of our choice. That could definitely be Pickens. Could be, Pierce, Tolbert, Watson, Moore. There's a decent number of guys still available, but I I don't know if we're gonna get them if we wait all the way till 53.
Yeah, we can essentially move up to any spot we want in the second round. I do believe, based on our draft capital. That's what I'm looking up right now.
Yeah, I mean, I looked up the trade value chart last night. If we
Mhm.
packed both second round picks together, we can move to the very first pick of the second round and get a fourth rounder back.
Yeah, and I mean, if there's a guy that you want, we could make that happen. Or, I mean, what's our pick there in the fourth round? Yeah, we just have the one pick in the fourth, I believe. No, we have two. How many picks we got in the fourth round?
Two, two.
Two. Hey, who knows? Maybe we package a fourth or something like that, and we move up quite a bit with our second. Still keep our later round second. Could be not. We got lots of options tonight, though.
Yeah,
Lots
dude.
of
I mean,
options.
it's once you're out of the first round, it becomes so much easier to
Hmm.
move around. Like it's so cost prohibitive to do it in the first.
Hmm.
But you see a lot of trades tonight.
Oh boy! So last night was pretty crazy. It was the most trades in NFL draft history in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I don't think I've never seen that many players traded on draft night. I don't think we saw AJ Brown trade, which was wild. Hollywood Brown traded. Um, we saw Lamar Jackson just get super pissed. Um, yeah, I did just get done reading that Green Bay was in the mix and we were making calls about Hollywood Brown. Us and the Chiefs were trying to work out deals for Hollywood Brown. In the end, Hollywood
I I
Brown
wouldn't
wanted
have
to be
given
a
up a
Cardinals.
first. I wouldn't give up a first for him. I don't think he's that good. I'd give a second, maybe.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown said that he really wasn't driving that car, but he's real happy to be playing with Kyler Murray, he said. So,
Yeah,
you
until
almost wonder if
Kyler Murray's gonna quit football in a year and go play baseball instead.
a lot of these I know Rodgers is saying like he wants to do recruiting for players and like get them to come play with Aaron Rodgers. However, Rodgers is so much more older than these younger receivers that when I hear things about Hollywood Brown just really wanting to play with like Kyler Murray and stuff, because they're like similar ages and stuff. Like you gotta wonder how much pull Aaron really probably has with that. Unless you're in a situation where you just have a terrible quarterback play or something like that. Like these guys probably want to play with guys more like their age, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Tom Brady is an exception. Like everyone wants to go play with Brady because he just
Mhm.
elevates everyone around him. But Rodgers is like well known for being a dickhead who just
Mhm.
constantly glares at his receivers and scolds them. And like I thought it was kind of interesting reading some of the comments he made on the Pat McAfee show yesterday about the Devonte Adams trade.
Yeah.
He was saying that when he signed his deal to come back, he thought that Devonte would still be there, and like he specifically said, he's like, "Yeah, I thought he'd want to, stick around and play with me for a few more years." Like
Mhm.
I was very clear with him about my plans. So it sounds like Devontae's like, "Fuck you, Aaron. I'm gonna go play with Derek Carr."
Yeah. He confirmed on the show that he was comfortable with the amount of money we were giving him. Does appear that we were willing to give him a little bit more money than even the Raiders were offering. Um, at the end of the day, are you watching? What
Yeah,
stream are you watching?
I'm
You
watching
watching
ABC
this?
right now. This Chris Angel getting
Yeah, he's
put up
like,
in the air in a straitjacket.
oh my God, what?
What
Why?
does this have to do with football,
I
man?
don't know.
Like,
Why is this a thing? This is supposed
I
to be about
guess
football.
it is Las Vegas, so
This is what the NFL wants to do, huh?
yep. Instead of putting it in Titletown at the Lambeau Field atrium, they want to have a magic show in Vegas.
Instead of live coverage from the Cheese Expo, we gotta watch Chris Angel, huh?
Um,
Whatever.
yeah, though I was surprised to hear Roger's comments though, about it being a surprise for Devontae to leave because I had heard to the contrary before. Like I heard that he knew Devontae wasn't sticking around. Um, and based on what he said last night, it kind of sounded to me like he knew the Packers were willing to give an offer to keep him around.
Hmm.
Um, and he assumed that Devontae would want to keep playing with him. I think Devontae just Derek Carr is his best friend. They played in college together. He's from like Oakland originally, I think.
Sao Paulo Alto, I think, or something like
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
it was like a childhood dream to play for the Raiders. So I think he wanted out, man. He had an opportunity to go to the Raiders, and he forced it.
He also said in his presser another desire was to have some of his family members come watch him play, specifically his grandpa. Said that his grandpa was never like strong enough or whatever to make it out to Green Bay to watch him play in Green Bay, but he's hopeful that he can come see him in Las Vegas now. It was on, I don't know, but it is what it is. All I know is Devontae's no longer a Packer. He wanted out and he got out. It did look like Rogers did say that he helped Devontae, get traded. It did look like that if um that Rogers had enough pull to basically probably play hardball and be like, no, no, we're not trading you. Like we do it, but at the end of the day, Adams basically asked him for his blessing to help him get traded, and
Yeah,
Rogers helped him get traded.
yeah, and I mean that particular comment about Rogers helping him get what he wanted,
Hmm.
um, it's a little concerning on one level. But I can also see him, thinking of Devontae as his friend and a human being, trying to get him where he
Hmm.
wants to go, and I guess the Packers play there could have been, hey, you're franchised, play or sit, and maybe Rogers stepped in and said like, listen, he's not going to play for us,
Hmm.
trade him or I'm going to make a stink.
Hmm.
So I mean, all things considered, I think a first and second round pick is a pretty good value, especially when guys like AJ Brown, much younger,
Hmm.
went for a first and third. Um, so Buccaneers are on the clock right now.
Yep,
This will
we've
be
officially started. 10 minutes late, but we're officially started. How long do they have on the clock again tonight? Is it 10 minutes again?
I think it's 7 minutes again.
7 minutes.
Um, yeah, this will be the Bucks' first pick of the draft because they traded back.
It doesn't look like the Bucks are in no rush right now, according to this draft room video I'm looking at of getting this pick in on time. Doesn't
Well,
look like they're working the phones too heavy either.
I would expect that they'd be fielding calls. Like people love first pick of day two. Get your pick of the litter.
I'm sure that I'm sure I think teams could be calling on this pick all day. Like they could be like they were taking calls around like noon, lunch hour and stuff on these call scenes. So if they haven't traded it yet, I doubt they're going to. Probably gonna see them make a pick here. Any day two rumors that you maybe heard this morning or this afternoon?
Um, I to be honest, I didn't really have a lot of time to look into that stuff. I spent most of my time last night reading up on
Mhm.
Quay Walker and Devonte Wyatt a bit. Still haven't had the chance to watch tape. I do want to watch some tape this weekend. But yeah, I haven't read many rumors, so we're going into this fresh. I don't know why the cameras keep showing quarterbacks. The Bucks are not taking a quarterback. They took Kyle Trask in the second last year. They're probably going defensive line here.
Yeah, I did see. I did hear that the quarterbacks might go pretty early here in the second. You might start seeing a run on quarterbacks, just like you saw with wide receivers yesterday with the first in the first round there. Um, Also some of them upper echelon receivers still on the board. I don't know if any of them are going to last, into the late end of the second here. So I think if there's a guy that Green Bay wants, they gotta move up and they gotta go get him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think one trade idea I like is if we pack 53 and our third rounder together, that jumps us up to we can get up to right around like the Seahawks or Colts. Kind of looking at that right in the 10th pick of the second round range. So we might not get the first wide receiver off the board at that point, but we could probably still get a good one. And I think those are teams that might be willing to trade back for more picks.
Look here. Yeah, so 53 is 370. With 92, it's 132. That would give us roughly 500. Yeah. We're looking at, for equal value, all things considered, Seattle at pick 40. So
Yeah, well, Buccaneers pick is in. It'll probably take 5 minutes to actually get to it.
yeah, I could see them probably just trying to shore up this offensive line a little bit here. Again, they've had some key departures. Ali Marpet.
Yeah, but they did trade for Shaq Mason from the Patriots, and they got him
Yeah.
pretty cheaply too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they lost Ndamukong Suh there, and I mean, the guy is super old, but he was still playing at a top level for them. And defense has kind of been their MO, especially now Bruce Arians not being the head coach, Todd Bowles taking over. I think they lean defense, but you never
Think
know.
they go N'Kobe Dean or David Ojabo. Here,
Chavo could be interesting. I think they also lost JPP, so they would need a pass rusher there to groom.
Andrew Booth Jr. still on the board. They could, with
They got some
corners.
good young corners though. Sean Murphy Bunting and Carlton Davis.
They did lose a safety. They lost Jordan Whitehead in the offseason.
There's some good safeties on the board.
And tight ends too. I mean, Gronk should be back, but
Gronk is coming back. He just doesn't want to participate in the offseason. When I look at the players still on the board, I think there's a lot of edge depth. I could definitely see us coming out of the second round with an edge player because we still need that third edge.
I do know that Aaron Jones will be announcing our pick for the second round tonight.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, pick is in.
Logan Hall.
Oh crap! You're in front of me.
I like Hall. I didn't watch any of his tape, but based on what I read, he seems like long guy, has a bit of pass rush ability too. Could be a good pick for them. One thing I want to ask your opinion on.
Yep.
Is so traditionally you take a defensive lineman and those rookies, they don't contribute much. It takes them at least 2 years to kind of build up NFL strength.
Mm-hmm.
Devonte Wyatt, kind of an unusual pick for us in that he's already 24 years old.
We just traded up.
Oh shit.
We just traded with the Vikings.
With the Vikings. What is up with the Vikings wanting to trade with every NFC North?
Holy fuck, we just traded up! Getting this shit done early, quick tonight.
Yeah, we wasted no
Woo!
time putting the pick in. Wow, that's
Need some energy? Just fucking got it.
God, have you seen the cost of this trade yet?
No, I'm looking up right now.
Dude, like trading with the Vikings. I thought the Vikings kind of fleeced Detroit with that interdivision trade last night. I hope we didn't overpay for this.
You know what? This much, we probably gave up our other second rounder. This is probably our.
I hope we're getting something back in return though, because that's way more value. If we gave up 2 second rounders to just get this pick. I guess maybe we're thinking we wanted to jump in front of Tennessee or the Giants.
We right off the bat, I'm looking at we gave up our. I don't know if it's legit though. They're getting picks 53 and 59.
And nothing else for us in return.
As far as I know, nothing else in return.
That's bad value, dude. If that is the case, that is like just objectively bad value on the trade chart.
All right, what receiver? I'm assuming this is going to be for a receiver. George Pickens.
I mean, it's 3 Bulldogs in a row. I could see it happening. Christian Watson is another option. I told you before I love Skye Moore, but I don't know if he fits the Packers MO.
I'm hearing, I don't know if this is legit, but Christian Watson.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Christian Watson is like his potential. He could be the best receiver in this draft down the road, but the thing is, he's so raw. I don't know if he's really going to contribute this year. Like the best I would expect from him in year 1 is, hey, run deep and take a safety with you, kind of filling that MVS role.
I'm thinking Christian. It's looking like Christian Watson. That's what I'm expecting to see here.
Well, got some excitement in right away.
Yep.
Watson. All right, man. We're banking on a very high ceiling there. Boomer bust prospect. I'm gonna go directly to the notes that I took on him. Give me 1 second to pull these up. All right, so Christian Watson, where are you, my friend?
Well, we're going to be sitting for quite a while now for our next pick here.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I wonder if we might call this right now. Right. So Christian Watson, the notes I took watching his tape, very fast, accelerates quickly for a tall guy, has experience on jet sweeps and good vision.
Just saw a jet sweep just now.
Good or strong blocker. Hips are pretty smooth for a big guy. Looked like a natural route runner at Senior Bowl practices, and I think that's a big one because he wasn't asked to run a large variety of routes at his school. They were run first offense, lower level of competition, but he did very well at the Senior Bowl and seemed like a quick study. I think I also read something that his Wonderlic score was pretty high. Let's see. So now getting to the negatives, does not run a variety of routes, catches with his body, issues with drops. I know he had the highest drop percentage of like, I don't know if he was the worst in the class, but he had a pretty high percentage. We're looking at like over 10% drops last year. But yeah, I mean that's our MBS replacement right there.
All right, so I mean, I'll just echo off you. I'll go off my notes I wrote down for him here. See how much we actually agree here. He's 6'4", 210. So pretty tall. Hold on, I just want to see who the Titans pick here before I read mine.
What is
Oh my God.
happening? I'm curious if the Titans take a receiver, and that's why we felt like we needed to jump up. No.
Okay. All right. So I wrote very fast for his height and weight. Is able to make tough sideline grabs. He has the ability to make defenders miss in open space. Elusive. Can be elusive in open space. Deep threat. Game tape is against lesser schools, so there's not a lot of tape on him against elite college level. So that's kind of con for me. You just don't know. Uh, I did not witness a diverse route tree on film. Just basically just ran go routes for the most part. Can return kicks. Was used on jet sweeps and end arounds, which fits the Shanahan LaFleur system. And he does have the height that LaFleur covets in wide receivers. So pretty similar to what you wrote. Looks like we're watching some of the same tape. So
Yeah, and like kind of when I zeroed in on, like, I did a separate list where I kind of just boiled down each receiver into like their two primary traits and kind of like the role that I see them playing. And for Watson, I said his two primary traits were speed and physicality, which, that's a good thing because you cannot teach those things. Those are just God-given talents. You can coach up the route running and other stuff, but he's got stuff that you can't teach. As far as the role I see him in, though, he did not jump out to me as like just the go-to guy, like when the chips are down and you need to pick up a first down. He seemed like a straight line deep threat to me. I
yeah,
really
same.
view this as like, this is MVS, probably a better MVS. But I don't think we're done with the receiver with this pick. I don't think this
No.
replaces what Devonte Adams was bringing to the offense. So we'll see. God, I would
Not
love to see someone like Alec Pierce fall, but I don't think that's going to happen.
at this point. I mean, I don't expect too much out of him in year one. Any you basically take what receivers in round one with the hope that they can kind of make an impact day one. The receivers taken after day one, I mean, you can get really good receivers, but they're going to take a while to develop and figure things out. It's just
Dude,
can you
even Devonte Adams, Jordy Nelson,
all of our second round receivers never were studs in year one.
yeah, honestly, I think the guy who probably had the most success in year one was Randall Cobb.
Or Greg Jennings, he did all right in year one.
Yeah,
I remember Favre saying he really picked up the system pretty good.
yeah, Greg
Last
Jennings.
season.
Yeah, I actually, now that I think about it, I think it was Jennings' rookie year, when we had that overtime game against Denver, and the first play of
Yep,
overtime, he
that
took
was his rookie year.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hopefully Watson can make a play or two like that in his rookie year. We'll see. Yeah, if you think about, I was listening to someone today. They make great points in that. Those first round receivers, like the bust rate is actually a lot higher.
Pretty high.
Yeah, there's really not a ton of just like surefire Pro Bowl caliber guys coming in round one. And you can find good receivers in, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth rounds. In fact, almost every single one of the elite receivers in the NFL right now, just about every single one is not a first round draft pick. So Devontae was a second. Cooper Kupp wasn't a first rounder.
He's
Stephon
third.
Diggs wasn't a first rounder. Who else was not first round? If you think around the league,
Tyreek Hill, fifth
Tyreek Hill
round.
was not. Yeah.
Um,
The only ones that come to mind, I believe, are Amari
Jamar
Cooper
Chase, Justin
and Jamar
Jefferson.
Chase Jefferson. Yeah.
Man, yeah, I'm still kind of shocked that we traded with Minnesota, and I
Yeah.
do think like
I
if
think,
straight up our 2 seconds for theirs, I kind of feel like that was bad value. Um,
well, you got if you find someone that you want, identifying your guy, I mean, you got to overpay to get him, I guess.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like if he
Yeah.
balls out for us, no one's gonna care that we lost 100 points in value on the trade chart. Like we got our guy.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean like everything I watched of Watson, like I liked him. He didn't like totally jump out to me like some of the other receivers, but there's a
Mhm.
lot to like. But I took him off the Packers board. I didn't think we would take him because I really think that he is. I don't think he's going to do much in year one. It's a huge jump in competition level for him.
Right. So, I mean, oh, Jets taking Brees Hall. There he goes.
So this is my only thought here is maybe we were worried about Houston here at 37, maybe them taking a wide receiver. Um, if they don't take a wide receiver, this is kind of looking like a desperation trade for us where Goot panicked and just wanted to jump up there when maybe it wasn't necessary.
Uh, my guess is he had Christian Watson like on that at the top of that tier two level board, like a solid second round grade. He must have had all the other receivers, behind Watson, just kind of, you know, a tier below. Like he just wanted to get that. Like it's clear Watson was probably number seven, the seventh best receiver on their draft board, who was just the best of the next tier of receivers. So he just wanted to go get his guy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I can see that, and I mean when I compare Watson to the receivers who were taken last night, um, I definitely like him more than Johan Dotson. I
Hmm.
don't like him at all. I think he's just way too small for the
Hmm.
NFL. And we've had discussions about Drake London. Like I think his game doesn't translate super well to the NFL. You're not going to physically dominate NFL corners like you did in college.
Hmm.
Um, so it's like, Watson, yeah, he's not a Jameson Williams or a Garrett Wilson or a Traylon Burks. Um, but he's definitely, I don't think he's worse than some of the later receivers taken last night.
Yeah. Well, he's a Packer now. I guess all we can do is just hope. I'm looking at this draft trade chart. I don't see us able to make any move draft value wise where we could move back up in the second, even back end. Like Denver owns the 64th pick. That's a 270 value. That's at 270 value. Our next pick is 92 in the third. That's 132. Even if we package, even if we package our third and both of our fourths, it wouldn't be enough to match the last pick of the second at this point. So we got a ways to go before Green Bay is going to probably make their next pick. So I do see us probably keeping. I mean, there's a chance maybe we move up a little bit in the third if there's a guy who falls and we really see like him. We could use one of our package one of our fourths and move up. I don't know about halfway up through the third round and pick in the middle of the third. But that's about it for movement. I do see us probably doing something like that too, though. I see us moving up. Probably I said we take about 9 picks in this draft, so I could see us packaging a fourth or a fifth to move up at some point here.
See, I kind of take the opposite approach. I think we were just so aggressive with that trade, and kind of like securing like, hey, we need this guy, um, that for Gutekunst to be that aggressive tells me that he feels pretty darn good about the rest of the roster, and is probably just drafting for depth at this point.
Hmm.
So it would not surprise me, um, to see us actually trade out of the third and collect more fourth and fifth round picks. Of course, if a guy he really likes is sliding, I could see a trade up in the third,
Hmm.
but there are a lot of positions on this roster where we could use depth, but we don't need a starter. Looking at like our edge rushers, safety, slot cornerback, offensive line, tight end. Probably still need another receiver. So that's six positions right there where I think um, we could certainly use depth, if not need depth. So
Hmm.
trade back wouldn't surprise me.
Falcons pick is in. I could see them taking a quarterback right here. We were talking about Malik Willis in the first round, and he's still on the board from the second.
Yeah, I think
So
the Falcons would be crazy to pass on Willis right now.
yeah, yep.
Because I mean, like you got Kyle Pitts last year, Drake London this year. Like pretty much your offense is set so that you can have like an inaccurate quarterback who just throws jump balls.
And we got Chicago up next after the Falcons, and I bet part of that reason was we already lost Jameson Williams to the Lions. We probably did. I feel like Chicago's definitely gonna be looking at receivers.
Yeah, no,
So
that's actually that's a pretty big consideration there.
yeah, we
Um,
definitely didn't want to be losing out on Christian Watson to the Bears too potentially. So
yeah, no, that is interesting because with Luke Getzey, our quarterback coach, going over to Chicago as their offensive coordinator, he's probably going to have a lot of the same wide receiver preferences
hmm
that the Packers traditionally have. So we might have been concerned about Chicago, who they have 2 second-round picks. We might have been concerned about them trying to jump up in front of us and take a guy we like.
another reason we probably traded up is we probably were like, fuck you NFL, we're gonna make sure that you don't cut to a commercial break on our pick this year. So
I'm sure that factored in.
yep. All right, my guess is Willis here. I'd be shocked if it's anyone else. I mean, I suppose maybe a running back. I know they need a running back pretty bad too, but those can be had
They
later
got
in the draft.
Patterson.
He ain't the long term solution there.
Yeah, but you going to take a running back in the second when you're as
What?
bad as the Falcons are?
Just gotta get best players of that bad. You see that draft need board? There was like every position. Falcons could be competing for the first overall pick next year.
Yeah. Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Nope. Um, Kyle Pitts looks like the real deal though.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts is a beast.
Best rookie season in like since the '60s for tight ends, I believe, last year. So
Yeah, I can't recall if he surpassed Mike Ditka or if like Ditka was just in front of him.
mm,
But yeah, he played super well on a very bad team. Okay. So they take Ebiketie here, the Penn State defensive end. He was most places I looked at had him ranked as the highest edge rusher remaining.
okay, okay. I read about this guy a little bit. I did see yeah, he came from overseas and did his high school here in the US.
Yeah, I mean, I saw quite a few mocks with him sneaking into the end of the first. I even saw a couple mocks with the Packers taking him at 28.
Hmm.
Um, Kind of a late riser. Didn't hear much about him early in the draft season.
Yeah, just a little undersized though, I feel like for the position, but
Yeah, Falcons have they've shown a willingness to take smaller defensive ends,
Yeah.
though.
Hmm.
All right, so this is going to be interesting. Chicago's pick is in. They didn't
And
waste much time.
yeah, they ran right to the board.
I mean, Chicago, like, let's get real. They're in a full rebuild right now.
Hmm.
Yes, they have Justin Fields as a potential franchise quarterback they can build around,
Hmm.
but they don't have a lot besides that.
Right.
Cole Kmet, pretty good tight end. He's probably going to keep growing. Uh, Darnell Mooney, a wide receiver. He he's a good burner type. Maybe not a number one. On defense,
I'm thinking you could. I think Travis Jones, the DT, is well in play here. They did lose Akeem Hicks, and I believe Eddie Goldman is also not. They did not bring back Eddie Goldman either.
dude. I mean, you look at that Chicago defense. It's
Not what it once was.
it, they're just old across the board. I can't
Hmm.
really name a young Jalen Johnson. I think is the only young guy I can name on the defense, the corner that they took last year.
Hmm.
And defense has always been Chicago's MO. I could really see this being defense, but they also you want to build around the young quarterback, give him every chance to succeed, and their offensive line could sure use help.
Hmm. All right, Thursday, May 12th, 8 p.m. is when the schedule comes out. I just saw that.
Yeah, honestly, if I were Chicago, I probably would have tried to trade back. They
Yeah,
need
they have
some.
a lot of holes here. Um, Let me go Travis Jones though. It's gonna be who I think they might take here if they don't take a receiver.
Travis Jones, I've heard a lot of good things about.
I'm in the side view here. I'm looking a little bit, looking up a little bit about our new shiny receiver we just brought in, drafted. Hmm. Do you think Pick or Watson starts for us day one? Do you have him?
I think he'll be our starting number 3. So
Do
that's
you
like technically not a starter, but pretty much.
do you think we bring in another veteran receiver after the draft?
Definitely could. There's still a fair amount of talent out there. Uh, a lot of question marks on guys at this point, but that's what you get. Wait until after the draft for a free agent. Um, I think we'll wait and see how the draft plays out.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think we're taking another receiver at
We
some point.
we could take another receiver in the third round, maybe. I mean, it could happen. This could be another draft where we load up with 3 receivers again, just like we did. Was it Goot's first year?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I could definitely see the third round pick being a receiver if the board lines up right. I do think if we're leaning toward any particular position, uh, I think we're going to put a lot of emphasis on edge with the next pick if the value is there. Because like you need a quality third edge rusher, and especially I don't know, it's dumb. There's no logic behind it, but
Mm.
just historically, Preston Smith has been an every other year kind of guy. He has a good year, he has a bad year. He had his good year last year. If
Mm-hmm.
he maintains what he's done his entire career, he's gonna take a dip this year. So I want to have a quality guy behind him to learn and maybe step up if necessary.
All right. Chicago is taking Kyler Gordon, cornerback out of Washington. All right.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's You're in a division with Green Bay and Minnesota. You gotta defend the pass.
So the Seahawks are up with back-to-back picks. They have 40 and 41 now.
I mean, Seahawks. You think maybe they take Malik Willis?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's kind of wild
Didn't
that
play.
only one quarterback has been taken, and we're
You,
39 picks into the draft.
do you think Baker Mayfield gets traded today?
I think a hell of a lot. It's going to depend on these next two picks here, because Seattle seems like the best destination for Baker Mayfield
Yeah.
if he were to find someone that they think is the future.
What do you think is the compensation? That's the best compensation they can get. I mean, I'm seeing like a fourth round pick for Baker Mayfield. I don't. I gotta imagine Cleveland wants a whole lot more than that. But
Dude,
the
the
way
thing,
I
Cleveland has no bargaining power. They're not going
yeah.
to be able to afford to keep both Watson and Mayfield. And even
Mhm.
if they somehow made it financially work, like Mayfield is going to be such a massive distraction, it would implode that team. Like they
Yeah.
might end up having to cut him.
I think they would definitely trade him for something by before they actually cut him because I mean quarterbacks are just kind of you know
Yeah, but that's, I mean, dude, like they might not find a taker. Like teams might think that they can pay less for Mayfield uh, if they just wait for him to get cut. Like even if they only had to give up a seventh round pick, you're still paying for the contract of a number one overall pick. I always kind of like secretly hoped, because I just thought it would have been hilarious if Cleveland were forced to cut Mayfield and then he went to Pittsburgh and like became a perennial contender with them. I'm not as down on Mayfield as most people are. I still think he has a shot to be a franchise QB.
just checking my updates here. There are some rumors still circling. I've heard them before that Carolina is still eyeing Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield in a trade tonight. So could be a Panther.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, they don't really the Panthers. They don't have time to wait around for a rookie to learn.
Hmm.
Like that coaching staff is out if they don't win this year.
I would not mind seeing a quarterback run go here soon. I mean, at some point, I want us to just see these quarterbacks come off the board here. Do you see us taking a quarterback late in this draft for just like a camp arm?
Um, I mean, it could happen, but we we need depth in so many other places, and with Jordan Love on the roster,
Oh, that was my
like
next question. Is you don't think that we would trade Jordan Love to like get back into the second round or third round or something like that, would you?
I would not trade him for anything less than a second. Um,
I'd rather just keep him
I mean
at
that's the
that
thing.
point.
Like Rodgers, the structure of his contracts, we don't know that he's actually going to be around for another 3-4 years. Like
Hmm.
he could retire after this year or demand a trade or whatever. And Jordan Love, like I don't know. At this point, like you've invested so much in him, you may as well ride out his contract. And like at worst, he's a cheap backup who knows the system inside.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, even if he hasn't developed to the point at the rate that you'd be happy with, like moving on from Rodgers and keeping him, like it's clear that he hasn't developed as fast as they probably would have liked him to. But he's going into what his third or fourth year now with us. He
Third
knows the
year.
system.
Yeah.
Third year, he knows the system. Um, and he's still young. He could still turn around. We are one bad play away from him being our starter for the rest of the season, you know? So like
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like we're in an absolute win now mode with
mm,
all the money we've pushed out in the future and everything. What if Rodgers has to miss a month? Like, he has a
Yeah.
history of injuries. We've been lucky the past few years, but it's not unreasonable for Rodgers to miss a few games.
Yeah,
And
I don't want another thing where we're playing Scott Tolzien one week and then we bring in Seneca Wallace for the next week and then
oh God, I forgot about Seneca Wallace. Jeez.
yeah, like we're not. I don't ever want to run into that again. All right, so the Seahawks with their first pick there in the second round, they take Boy Mafe. Did have him mocked at the back end of the first round. He's slipped to the upper half of the second round here.
Yeah, I saw quite a few mocks with the Packers taking him at 28. I've seen comparisons to Rashawn Gary in that he's got a ton of raw tools that he could be a superstar, but just very, very raw. Probably
Mhm.
going to need a couple years of development.
Yeah, I mean, just look back and think about like Rashawn Gary his rookie year. The man was the 12th overall pick, and he still needed like a full year to really get used to the NFL. Any player taken here in the second, third rounds, like they don't come in. How often do you see a second, third round pick besides a running back? Because all they gotta do is just basically hit the hole and run. You just don't see them making an impact in year one very often. Now years two and three, once they figure things out, they can make a big time impact. Unless it's like a special teams type thing. Here, interesting question too. Do you see us using Christian Watson as our kick return punt returner? Or do we stick with Amari Rodgers?
Open camp competition.
Think so?
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, Seahawks ran that pick back up to the board again. Ken Walker, the third running back, Michigan State. Seahawks taking a new potential starting running back.
Dude, how many fucking drafts have the Seahawks taken a running back high who's just been a total bust?
Rashad Penny is the last one I can remember. And then they had Chris Carson, who, wasn't even a high pick, outperform him.
Well, they also before Rashad Penny, I feel like they took someone else. Yeah, I don't know. Like Seahawks are
Before Rashad Penny, I thought they just had Marshawn Lynch.
no, I thought they took another first round pick. I don't know, man. I just think it's wild. Like first round running backs, like you got to think the guy's going to be Adrian Peterson to take him.
Mm.
They could have used so many other pieces right now other than a running back. Like whatever, man. I fuck the Seahawks, so I'm fine with them shooting themselves in the foot. But Colts are on the clock.
What Colts be doing here?
Colts need a receiver to complement Michael Pittman.
Yeah. T.Y. Hilton's gone. He is still a free agent.
Yeah. They also they're playing with Matt Ryan right now, so
Mm-hmm.
they could take a quarterback for the future.
Don't see them.
They've been on the 1 year old veteran rental program for like the past 3 or 4 years.
I could see them going tight end here though too.
They got Mo Alley Cox. He's not a bad tight end. He's not like a difference maker, but
They could take a guy like a Skye Moore here though. They could use like a little slot guy still.
dude, I'm looking at the receivers on the board and just I'm hoping that there's just like an absolute drought and teams take other players and we end up with a good receiver falling way further than he should have.
Romeo Dubes, third round. Or
Dubes is one receiver that I intended to watch his tape and just I never got around to it. Did you see any of his tape?
I did. I will tell you what I wrote about Romeo Dubes. Romeo Dubes, he is a 6'2", 200-pound receiver from Nevada. He does catch with his body and not his hands at times. Does come off as just an average athlete. Does need to add some lean muscle at the NFL level. Does have experience returning kicks, but makes catches at all three levels. He's pretty good speed. Does come off as more of a possession receiver than a deep threat, but he can make plays deep. Given that we just took our proverbial deep threat there, he does seem like a type of a player where we could use a possession receiver there. I wrote down I like him enough to take him early on day 3. I don't know, maybe Green Bay likes enough to take him late on day 2. There are a couple guys I liked a little bit more than him. Do you watch any tape on Jalen Tolbert?
Yeah. Tolbert was interesting to me. Because so like when I first watched his tape, he didn't like stand out to me as doing like any one thing particularly well. But when I really considered his play style versus other receivers, like he did kind of have a go-to guy kind of style that other guys don't. Whereas like Watson, he as good as he could become, I don't know if he's ever the go-to guy in a clutch situation when you need to move the chains. Tolbert did show me that. A lot of physicality, decent amount of speed. What else did I have on Tolbert here? Pretty good hands. He can catch a ball in traffic and take a hit. That stood out to me. Ran a variety of routes. But yeah, like the main thing that stood out to me is like I actually didn't write down any negatives for Tolbert. I just wrote that like nothing really popped for him. He seems to kind of be like decent average at most things.
I did have some things that weren't explicitly negative, but they can be construed as negative for Tolbert. I put pure deep threat. His tape doesn't show any short or medium routes. I
saw some medium routes from him.
I said I saw nothing on tape indicating that he can run multiple routes or is anything more than just a burner.
All right, we watched different tape then because I specifically wrote down runs a variety of routes.
and then at the bottom, I write my final analysis. I just wrote intrigued but skeptical.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean there are guys that I would like more than Tolbert. I think the biggest appeal with him is, his size, that like he has the potential to fill that number one role. But we just took Watson as our big boundary guy. So I think that really opens us up now to be more open to taking small guys if the opportunity comes later.
I mean, so just I do think we take another receiver here. The 3 that jump to me that I would hope fall. Who knows if it does? I would say Taekwon Thornton jumps to me. Alec Pierce. I don't think George Pickens falls, so I'm not going to include him into this. And then my third one would be David Bell.
Yeah, David Bell, his testing numbers weren't great. It ran pretty slow, but when I watched his tape, there's a lot to like about David Bell.
He kind of reminds me, now he's, bigger all around than like a Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Kupp didn't wow anyone. He still doesn't wow anyone. You just look at the guy, or even almost like who's the slot receiver there for the Raiders?
Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, Renfrow. You look at Renfrow, you look like you'd see him, walking down the street and wouldn't even think he's a football player. David Bell reminds me of a player like that. Like he doesn't have like any explosive traits. He's not an athletic freak. However, he's just a good football player. And I think that he could just, he just plays football good, just like a Cooper Kupp or Hunter Renfrow. Not saying he's going to be as good as Cooper Kupp or Hunter Renfrow, but he's a good football player.
Yeah, I mean,
makes plays despite his
some
lack
of the
of athleticism.
I wrote for David Bell. Very first thing I wrote that popped off a tape for me, dangerous yard after the catch ability.
Mm-hmm.
Like really can make guys miss, which is surprising for a guy of his size. He's 6'1", 212. Um, Great hands and concentration, runs a variety of routes. Uh, he actually accelerates quickly.
Yeah.
And his tape, he seemed to have adequate speed, despite the testing numbers. I thought he had very smooth hips. The biggest negative I wrote on him is that he kind of looked lazy with his routes. He rounded them off a lot.
Hmm.
And I wasn't sure if is that a coaching issue or is that an agility issue. If it's a coaching issue, you can correct that.
You can just pretty much tell them like you're not getting on the field unless you button up these routes type thing. Yeah, you know, watching his tape, he also played all over in different. He played the X, Y, and the Z. I saw. So I know Green Bay loves receivers that they can plug and play and interchange. Um, he made some really nice boundary grabs too. There were a couple that really jumped out to me. He makes plays all over the field, and he's got really good space awareness, which I was able to pick up on just watching his highlights, which is really good because when the play breaks down, he seems like a player who's going to be able to find the soft gaps in the zone, and Rogers be able to find him. Like, yeah, it's going to happen a lot. You have to have good spatial awareness, be able to know where the holes are going to be and where they're going to open up. Vikings take Andrew Booth Jr.
Good pick for
Just
them.
yeah,
They needed secondary help.
I know Booth has got first round talent. I think listening to Ian last night there, his analysis was that he was dealing with some hernias there.
Yeah.
He's had a couple already. So
Yeah, I mean with their first round pick, they took what Lewis Seen, the safety from Georgia, a real hard hitter. Now they get a corner. They re-signed Patrick Peterson, so they're really trying to fortify that secondary.
so our director of football operations, Milt Hendrickson, already gave his presser after the pick of Watson. He did field a couple questions about some of the beat reporters being a little critical of Packers giving up both second round picks to move up for him. He just simply replied with, "Well, if you love a player, you just find a way to go get him." So Green Bay clearly liked Christian Watson enough to proverbially overpay for him.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be a move that years from now, people are going to look back and really judge how Watson turned out because, looking at the trade value chart, we quote unquote overpaid for him, and especially to a division rival. Um,
There goes another receiver, Wandale Robinson from
Wandale
Kentucky.
Robinson, I love this cat. I actually had him in my first tier of receivers. Um, Small guy, he's only 5'8", 180 pounds. But watching his tape, he doesn't play like that, man. He seeks out contact. He can take a hit and keep moving. Super shifty, yards after the catch beast. I was kind of hoping he might be someone who would like slide into the fourth for us, but guess not.
Oh, they taken him quick. Man, Giants have themselves a nice little stable of receivers there.
Oh, this makes me wonder because there's been rumors about them
Could
trading
there's
Kadarius Mooney. Um, I mean, they got Kenny Galladay, Sterling Sharp, Darius Slayton,
Sterling Sharp came out of retirement, huh?
or sorry,
Shepard.
Sterling Shepard. My bad, my bad. Um, but yeah, I mean, they've got a ton of receivers, and now they take one in the second.
Hmm.
I wonder. I wonder if maybe Tooney is available for a fifth rounder or something.
A fifth, I would love that. I highly doubt they give him up for a fifth, but holy
I
cow, yeah, I'd
don't
jump on that all
know.
day.
They got a lot of receivers right now. I heard he's not happy in New York. Um, I wonder if by time we pick again, more likely than not, we're probably going to see a ton of the receivers we like off the board. We might have better value looking at tight end.
Yeah, we got 38 picks to go until we pick again, I believe. Yeah, we have 38 picks. There's a lot of good football players have been coming off the board over the next 38 picks. Browns pick is in. The teams are starting to get. Oh, Browns trade the pick to the Texans. Texans taking a quarterback here then?
I could see them taking a wide receiver, jump ahead of Baltimore, who just got rid of Marquise Brown,
Well, who the hell is the Texans quarterback at the moment?
Davis Mills. They
Like
kind
him?
of yeah, like he showed a fair amount of talent last year on a very bad team. I think they probably want to give him a chance,
I think
and
you
if
still got brains competition for him though.
yeah, but they need help everywhere, and they might look at like a George Pickens or something and think, hey, let's go get our young quarterback someone to throw the ball to.
Look at those team needs: wide receiver, running back, offensive line, tight end, defensive line, linebacker, cornerbacks. That's every position.
They didn't list kicker.
They didn't list quarterback either. I just think I just saw, unless I misread that.
Oh
How
man,
I mean, that was just kind of this lull period in the draft. Let's talk about some Packer special teams. We uh we haven't really mentioned it, but we signed Rick Bisaccia,
love that signing, man.
highest paid special teams coordinator in the NFL now. Basically almost paying him head coaching money
Dude, he'll be
to
worth
fix
every
it.
penny. That guy took the Raiders, who like not the most talented team by any stretch of the imagination, and they were also just completely dysfunctional with John Gruden resigning in the middle of the season, and just a the Raiders are a dumpster fire, and Bisaccia takes them to the playoffs and wins a playoff game. Or actually, sorry, no, he didn't win it. They lost to the Bengals in the first round, but uh they pushed them to the edge. Like that was a close game. Um, I mean, this is a guy who he gets guys to perform for him,
Mhm.
and one of the things I read about him that I loved is after that playoff loss, uh, he didn't leave the locker room. Like he took the time, he wrote a personal letter to every member of the team, like thanking for
That's
their
big.
yeah. Um, so I mean, I like this guy a lot, and like frankly, I think bringing in an older guy with maybe a different coaching style, who has leadership qualities, I think that could be good to kind of balance out LaFleur, who maybe hasn't been challenged as much as he should be, from different coaching styles. LaFleur is very much a player's coach to the point that he kind of just lets Aaron Rodgers run the show.
Right. All right, here comes the pick in. John
John,
Mechie, wide receiver from Alabama.
dude, I liked Mechie a lot. I was hoping he would slide because of his ACL injury. I was thinking he'd be more like a third round pick. But Mechie's a guy who like he gets open, like he's a chain mover. Kind of remind me of like Cole Beasley in a way.
What did I write for Mechie? He was one I watched as well. 6 foot, 195. Comes up. All right, I guess I didn't like him that much then. I said comes off as a one-trick pony, just a deep threat. Limited route tree. He's fast, makes contested throws. He's also tough, but I didn't think that he can be a complete wide receiver.
I all right. So I had a very different impression of Mechie. Let me look at his notes real quick. Where are you, Mr. Mechie? There's so many goddamn wide receivers on here. It's hard to keep up. Yeah, so I put Mechie in my second tier of receivers. I said my first note was elite off the line of scrimmage. Really good breaking off the line. Polished route runner who creates space, good feel for soft spots and zones, runs a variety of routes, good speed and quickness, catches the ball in stride, can run some wildcat stuff. I did say he struggles against bigger corners, and he's more of a slot guy, and he'd probably struggle to block at the NFL level.
So you definitely bringing him in to just be a legit playmaker for you. He ain't gonna help out too much in the run game then.
No, I didn't think he'd be that sort of receiver. Like to me, he really looks like he reminded me of like a Cole Beasley. Like you put him in the slot, and like he's not going to be like dangerous, like take the ball to the house every time, but he creates space and can move the chains. Is the way I read him.
There's a little fun fact I'm reading right now about Christian Watson. So, did you mention? You might mention this earlier. I don't think you did, but his father, Tim Watson, was a 6th-round pick of the Packers in 1993.
Oh yeah.
We actually drafted his dad.
How long of an NFL career did his dad have?
I remember seeing on TV here that they did mention that bloodline. Look it up here. He was a safety. He so he was drafted by us, but that's about it. It looks like we caught him before the regular season. He never actually played. He played for the Chiefs from 93 to 95 after that. So he did get picked up immediately and played for the Chiefs. He only played in 13 games in the NFL. 0 tackles, 0 interceptions.
Well, let's hope his son has a better career than
him. Holy fuck. I think all that guy has got to do is go out there and catch one pass, and he's been a success story in the Watson household. So
oh man.
Okay. All right.
I'm like I'm just so anxious with like this long of a wait between picks now. That was
Yeah.
a lot to give up to move up there.
I would have liked, and you know what? We are now firmly halfway through the second round here. I'm still surprised like some of these players are still on this board. Let me take a look at this like proverbial big board here. Like, did Ojabi get picked yet? No mind. There he goes, right there. Okay, he just got picked.
Dude, that's a total Ravens pick. That is a classic Ravens pick.
I'm like, why did that guy not get picked yet?
Oh, he tore his Achilles earlier in the offseason.
Yeah, this guy's got first round talent all over him though once he recovers.
Yeah. That's a good pick for the Ravens. I was kind of hoping he would slide. But
so Nakobe Dean's still on the board.
It's he would fit Dan Campbell's culture in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a leader on that defense.
Christian Harris, the linebacker from Alabama, still on the board. George Pickens, the receiver from Georgia, still on the board. Justin Ross is on the board. Khalil Shakir, the wide receiver from Boise State's on the board. Did you watch tape on him?
Yeah.
Well, I actually did not get to him. I didn't see any tape on him, so I can't really comment too much on Shakir. What do you think about him?
Let me take a quick look at my notes here. So for Shakir, strong yard after the catch ability, accelerates fast, good speed, catches the ball in stride, makes acrobatic catches, good concentration. He can take a hit over the middle. He runs a variety of routes. Has jet sweep experience. And then kind of like the bottom line on him that I wrote down is he's a yards after the catch chain mover. Yards after the catch and physicality are the strengths of his game. Really, I didn't notice a lot of weaknesses. That the main, like watching the tape, like
Mhm.
weaknesses didn't really stand out to me, but I did read quite a bit that he's pretty raw and probably needs some time to learn NFL routes. Um, but I don't know, man. We just took Christian Watson, so I guess we don't care about that, really.
Lions pick is in. They ran that up to the board real quick. Holy hell. I wonder who, I guess we're gonna find out. Did they just stop like reading from the podium, by the way? I mean,
uh,
I'm actually fine with it because I feel like the picks actually come in faster when they don't spend the time sitting there reading them from the podium.
it's kind of weird though. Like, what they do? Like the first 10 picks of the second round and stop or something?
They must have knew that that Packers were gonna trade up because they had Aaron Jones go up there quick to do it. He didn't look comfortable at all reading.
Listen, we don't pay him to read.
Very true. They
John.
took Josh Paschal. Pascal.
I have heard him. I actually I was reading on She Said TV this morning. Pascal is a potential target for the Packers in that he can kind of fill that Zadarius Smith role, moving all over the line. So the Lions, they have been the trenches have been their top focus since Brad Holmes took over as GM. Honestly, I really like the way they're building their team, man. They could be a much tougher team this year, and they might honestly be taking the approach of they might just build a good team and then rent a quarterback afterward.
I mean, they played us tough. They beat us last year in the last game.
Well, we
So
weren't playing their starters the whole time.
still, they played our starters pretty decent when they did. But yeah, I do know that was their Super Bowl though.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the more I think about it, Brad Holmes, like he came from the Rams, who they just won a Super Bowl with the rent a quarterback template.
Hmm.
Um, we might start seeing more teams do that.
I hate the new logo. The new, yeah, I guess logo for Washington.
Yeah, it doesn't
It
really have personality.
it
It's
literally, yeah, it just looks like a generic, like one like it, on those old Madden games when you could like create a new franchise and they give you like like the dozen generic logos and like names. Commanders was like always one, like Commanders, Pelicans, Sentinels, like monsters, stuff like that.
monsters. Dude, did you ever play Mutant League football? Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
Uh-huh.
I loved that game. It was great.
Have you seen those arcade one-up machines before?
No.
They're like half the size of a regular arcade cabinet, but you can buy them. They ship them right to your house. And you put them together. They got like LCD screens and stuff in them. They're like a few $100s, but they're and like every year they come out with like 3 or 4 new ones, and they're the like the popular '90s versions. They have like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones. They have like um Tekken Tag Tournament. So anyway, they're coming out with NFL Blitz this year, which I used to love playing NFL Blitz.
Yes.
You remember that one football game for like this? Maybe it was for Sega, where it was like rollerball football. It was like future football with like robots, and they were like on like balls, like their feet. They actually like have legs. They just had like this like Jetsons type like rollerball. I'll find it. I'll show you.
I don't recall that. So like I'm looking at the picks now because we're getting pretty close to where we would have been picking at 53. We're a handful of picks away, and so far the only wide receivers who came off the board after Watson, Wandale Robinson to the Giants and John Mechie to the Texans. I don't know, man. If we get to 53 and there's like a handful of good receivers sitting there that we could have had, but we we gave up that much to the Vikings. Kind of a bad look.
Well, I guess we gotta put our faith in the scouting staff that they saw something just a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean he's definitely Watson. He has the traits to be. I think the ideal for Watson, what you really hope he becomes when you draft him, is DK Metcalf.
Right. Hmm.
And yeah, I mean looking at the other receivers available, do any of those guys have that kind of ceiling? Like maybe a couple, but we gotta
I don't
hope
know.
that they know what they're doing and that's their guy and he's gonna come in and ball out.
Yep. Boy, they're taking a while for the Commanders pick. Um, you think we take a running back in this draft?
If we do, I think it'll be late.
You
So
think so? I mean, I kind of
we got
really liked Isaiah Spiller, but I don't think he's gonna go too
yeah, I
early.
read that we had interest, but like he would be a high pick. I don't think we're gonna
Third,
a high
third
pick.
rounder. We'd have to probably spend our third rounder on him.
Yeah, I don't
Phil,
think we would do that. We got Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, Kylan Hill, Patrick Taylor. Like I don't think we need a running back that bad. Okay.
Fedarian Mathis, defensive tackle from Alabama.
I've never heard of this dude.
Nope.
And don't you just love how like when the real draft comes, it's just completely different than mock drafts, and you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
who is
Oh yeah.
this dude? Like,
Yep. For sure.
so
I
we
wonder
got
what Rico.
Chicago on the clock for the
I
second time
wonder
here.
what Rico Busi's up to right now. That's who we should be trying to trade for.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we can move our third for him.
Rico Busi. We'll just trade our third rounder for him. I think he's chilling on the Steelers practice squad last time I knew. So we actually, if that's the case, we literally just pluck him right off that practice squad.
Who do you think Chicago's taking here?
Who did they take earlier in the draft there?
Kyler Gordon, the
That's
cornerback.
right. Receiver. Well, like we thought receiver earlier. There's still some pretty good ones on this board here.
They could go receiver or offensive line. I think they're going offense. They're going to give something to help out Fields.
You know that one guy, Bernard Raymond, there is still on the board. I did think that he was gonna slip. So, and he is because he's a 25-year-old tackle.
Yeah.
Um, but he's kind of pro ready. It looked like
Yeah, I mean,
they gotta get some receivers though. Like Darnell Mooney is like all they have right now.
yeah. And they did
Watch
take
them
Tevin Jenkins, the offensive tackle, in the second round last year.
take Skye Moore here.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I absolutely loved Skye Moore's tape. I
I
think,
loved David Montgomery coming out of college, and then Chicago fucking took him.
yeah. And
Chicago,
Montgomery, he started a little slow, but he has been turning into a real good running back the past year or so. All right, come on, just read the goddamn pick. Trying to get their commercial time in here.
yeah, really trying to milk it. I love when they get so far behind on their coverage stuff that they have to like announce like 4 picks all at once. Like they just got to put up a graphic. These were the next 4 picks. Wow, they
Hey,
are loading up on that secondary.
yeah, I guess I'm happy with it, man. Let them ruin Fields. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know that Chicago has historically always relied on an elite defense, and it looks like they're trying to infuse their old defense with some youth. But dude, I mean, Justin Fields needs protection. He needs someone to throw the ball to. Uh, so yeah, go ahead and ruin him, Chicago.
Trying to check out this guy's tape, and he's from Penn State,
I mean,
third team, All Big Ten.
yeah, I like Brisker. Like I definitely I read a lot of good things about him. I saw him as he's a guy who can kind of play safety and slot.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like he's a bad player. I just think that doesn't make a lot of sense for Chicago.
Safety is still definitely a player that's in play for us in the third round. There, we need some depth. Wouldn't be bad to get a guy who could kind of like a Brisker who can do star role and safety in a pinch.
Yeah. No, we definitely we need a third safety because like if you look at the roster and I was thinking about this earlier today. If you take like the top player at a position and say he gets hurt, are we going to be totally screwed? Um, and for a lot of positions, we're actually in pretty good shape, but safety and edge rusher, like if our top guys get hurt, we're screwed. So we need depth there.
Can't believe N'Kobe Dean's still on this board.
Yeah, I
That's
mean
that's a
he's the thing
surprise for
is
me.
he's undersized.
Yeah,
But that's teams they always overlook like there's actually a rich history of undersized middle linebackers who just absolutely ball out. Like you can look at
Zach Thomas.
like undrafted guys, dude, like London Fletcher. And yeah,
Yeah,
like you said, Zach Thomas, I think was like a seventh round pick or something. Um, to me, inside linebacker is one position where like instincts matter above all else. And yeah, I'll take an undersized guy if he really knows what he's doing out there and can lead the people around him.
right.
Wouldn't it be crazy if he fell to the third and we're like, hey man, we'll take another bulldog?
Let's fucking do it. Let's. Hey, that. Well, we have an affinity for Georgia because Goot said last night in his presser they got arguably the most pro-ready college program there is. Like he goes every day, those kids are going up against future NFL starters, so they're a little bit more pro-ready in day one than other players are because they've spent their whole college career playing against NFL level talent at all three level on both offense and defense. So it's like, yeah, just load. We're just gonna be. Hey, they already got the G on the helmet. Might as well, keep that G on the helmet.
We'll just change the colors.
Yeah. We should just take Delvin Cook's little brother here in the draft before the Vikings. Actually, I don't know. Watch the Vikings take him with one of the picks that we gave him there in the second round. I'm going to be really, really interested to see who the Vikings pick with the picks that we had.
Well,
In
so it
fact,
looks
one's
like
got to be coming up soon.
well, so I'm looking at the board here. It looks like the Vikings already traded pick 53 to the
Oh, did
Colts.
they?
Yeah. But they still have pick 59. So Vikings, like their entire strategy in this draft has been to move back and stockpile picks. Like
Did
they
they? Well, did they move up in the draft to get Booth again, or no? Was that just their original pick?
that was what they got from the Detroit trade.
Okay. So I'm gonna go look up the Vikings draft picks. Let me take a look at this. You know what? they're revamping their entire secondary, by the way. So they did take Andrew Booth and they got Lewis Sign in the first round. I mean,
Yeah.
they got a corner who was in the top 5 available corners in the draft, and they got a top 3 safety with Lewis Sign. I mean, they're just attacking that hard in this draft.
And honestly, with pick 59, when they get to that, wouldn't surprise me to see them go edge rusher. Because like on offense, they're pretty darn set on offense. So like they're probably gonna go hard
Mm-hmm.
on defense in this draft. Dude, why is draft coverage just so atrocious? Like I don't want to watch these dudes stand around and talk. I don't want to watch Chris Angel get out of a straitjacket.
Right.
I don't want to watch pictures of people's family. Show me tape. Show me what these players look like on the field.
All right, here we go. Saints are on the board. Or guys coming up.
Who? I've never heard of this dude.
Same. Hey man, fuck quarterbacks, dude, huh? Fuck them.
I I don't think I've ever seen a draft in my lifetime where like like only seriously one quarterback has been taken 50 picks into the draft.
And
Like,
I almost want to say if Kenny Pickett didn't go to college in Pittsburgh, would he even be a Steeler right now? Or did that heavily factor into them taking them? Like
dude,
maybe.
Steelers are probably kicking themselves. They're 3 picks away from their second rounder right now. They could have just waited and gotten Pickett in the second.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, but um just wild. Yeah. Like I know they said this was a bad draft for quarterbacks, but they were not kidding. These guys like I don't know. Quarterbacks, you just have to have a good quarterback to win in the NFL these days. So I it's easily the most overdrafted position in the NFL. So to have only one quarterback go in the first 50 picks is insane. It might even be more than 50, but
I
that's
mean,
just where we're at right now.
like it's one thing to say that like yeah, it's a weak quarterback class, but like there are a lot of bad teams without an answer at quarterback right now who like you wouldn't take a second round shot on. Like you don't think any of these dudes have the tools to coach up.
Hmm.
Like I don't know. That's like what a historic anomaly for
Right.
this class to be that bad if that's actually the case.
What do the Chiefs do here? I'm wondering if they take a receiver here.
I could definitely see it being receiver.
They trade away Tyreek, but they also lost Byron Pringle too. I mean, that was just kind of whatever. They did, try to replenish it with MVS and Juju Smith-Schuster. So it's not like a glaring immediate need. Oh, never mind. They traded up.
Trading the pick.
Patriots.
It's
Every time I see trade, do you just just that little glimmer? Do you just get a little glimmer? Be like, come on, turn. Like you want to see the color turn green. I just want to see
I
that color turn green.
I was shocked that we jumped all the way up to pick 34.
I
Like
was getting settled in to just like almost have a whole night of just getting like anxious for the second round, just seeing all these good players come off the board and being like, come on, dude, we gotta do something. We gotta do something. Boom. Second pick of the second round. We just get it done.
I thought we might have traded up into the top 10, but like all the way to the second pick, especially with the Vikings, like that's still wild to me. Um, Who do you think the Patriots are picking here? They got Cole Strange last night.
James Cook.
They'll probably go defense. Patriots love defense. I mean, they could use wide receivers, but Bill
Let me take a
Belichick.
look. Who's on the big board? N'Kobe Dean still on the board. Chad Muma, the linebacker from Minnesota. Christian Harris. This says for Darian Mathis is on the big board. Nope, he's been taken already. You should probably get rid of that.
Come on, just
Yeah, this is
please tell us.
ridiculous. Dang, the Patriots moved up in this draft to get that, and they still have 11 more picks remaining. They're loaded with draft capital in this one.
What do you
Even-
think? You think we'll get like a 5th round comp pick for MBS next year?
How much you signed for? Is he making like,
think like
10, 11? Who do we get our fourth? We got a 4th round comp for Lindsley,
Lindsley, I think.
5th or 6th maybe. We won't get a 4th, I don't think, for MVS, but 5th or 6th maybe I think might be likely.
Yeah, well, he was originally a 5th round pick. I guess you could say you're breaking even if you get a 5th out of it.
Yeah. Come on, announce the goddamn pick.
There's still a lot of talent on the board right now.
So what players would make you real pissed to still see on the board at pick 22 and 28 in the second rounds that could have been available to us if we did not move up? Like, are there any players still on the board currently that you'd be like, son of a bitch? If we just would have stayed, I'd have been happy.
I mean, not for nothing, dude, but barely any receivers have been taken. Like Christian Watson might have still been there.
You think he would?
It looks like Alec Pierce will still be there. George Pickens will still be there. Skye Moore, like I kind of think Goop panicked a little bit, or he just absolutely loved Christian Watson and had a higher grade on him than everyone else. Trey McBride could actually be another guy who, like, he looks like pretty pro ready as a tight end. Oh my God, just read the fucking picks.
This is tough.
Taekwon Thornton.
This guy, wow, who is that guy that announced that pick just now?
I think that was just like a fan who won a competition or something.
That was the most passionate delivery I've ever seen in my whole life.
We were talking about this last night, man. Taekwon Thornton been flying up draft boards, and James Jones is in love with this guy. He's one of the fastest receivers in the draft. He's got like legit like 4.2 speed. Like I think like a 4.28 or something.
And this guy looked like a Packers receiver.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. He's got some route running shiftiness to him. Um, he
He catches with his hands, which I liked.
yeah, actually yeah. Let me see my notes on him. What do we got here?
He makes contested catches on the boundary. Nice, like real nice.
Yeah, so yeah, he has a gear that others don't. Very strong hands, actually pretty good off the line of scrimmage, adjusts to the ball very well, smooth hips. I did rate poor agility though.
Yeah, I think they're legitimately just bringing him in to be a deep threat. Like, just take the top off the defense. They ain't gonna be using his like agility too much on like shiftiness. He's kind of a one trick pony in a way too. Like what he does is pretty good, but he's like make no mistake, he is a legit MBS type player. Like
Yeah.
go deep, go on the boundary, go deep, make those tough sideline grabs type player. But he was very looked his tape was good and he looked sure-handed and he was aggressive. What did I write on Taekwon Thornton? See if it matched yours. Um, Taekwon Thornton, 6'2", 180 pounds, tall and fast, makes impressive catches in the red zone. Absolute burner in yards after the catch. He is a legit deep threat with a wide catch radius. Final little snippet. Absolutely on board with adding him later in the draft.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting though. I don't think Mac Jones has the arm to take advantage of that deep speed. Like I don't know what it is with the AFC East. They want to draft these noodle-armed quarterbacks and then get the fastest guys in the league to throw to them. I guess they're going to be hoping for a lot of slants that go to the house.
I guess so. God, I want some slants this year on our offense, but by the way. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Fuck. Forgot what I was gonna say to you. Oh, our offense better have some goddamn slants incorporated this year. The lack of
Rodgers
slants
does not
pisses
like
me off.
slant.
The lack of slants pisses me off.
Dude, the slant was like a go-to play for us back in the Greg Jennings days, and then Rodgers was just like, I don't like using the middle of the field.
It was a core part of like the Mike McCarthy playbook. And then I don't know if it's a lot of it's on Rodgers because he doesn't even make those throws the few times we do call it. But at the same time, I don't know, does the Shanahan, how many slants you see like Shanahan and LaFleur doing, like coming from that off, like maybe slants just aren't a thing.
I love the slant, man. I think
Same.
it's one of the easiest plays in the NFL.
Because it takes the receiver from the outside, it gets him running at 45 degrees. He's going upfield at an angle, also shortens the throw because he's coming in closer to the receiver. The receiver's coming in closer to the quarterback. I mean, as soon as the play starts, you're going forward and closer to the quarterback. So it's a quick, shorter throw for the quarterback. It's transcendent play that we should utilize a whole lot more. Not a single tight end has been taken yet, though, either.
Yeah. It would not surprise me to see one go toward the end of the second here.
I do see Todd McShay has Dulcich listed as his second best tight end on his big board.
Dude, I really like Dolchick's tape. Looks like a natural receiver, legitimately fast and athletic. Like the main thing is he needs to work on his blocking, but like he could actually be a weapon in the passing game.
Would you be cool with him in the third round?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cameron Jurgens, center from Nebraska, goes to the Eagles.
Well, dude, we only have 40 more picks until we're on the clock. Move up. Come on. I can't stand this waiting. Move up. Let's do something. Let's make some hay.
Do you know, is the third round, do the picks go to 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Cameron Jurgens has his own line of beef jerky.
Called beef jerky. Creative.
All right, Steelers pick 52 here. They definitely could have just gotten Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, that's wild.
Maybe they'll draft some competition for him. May as well grab Malik Willis, right?
Yeah, why not? Dude, I'm like driving to work this morning, and it crossed my mind that they picked Kenny Pickett, and I laughed because he was the only quarterback taken last night, and Trubisky must have been so pumped that he finally was getting another shot again, and then the Steelers were like nah. George Pickens, there he goes.
Dude, that's you got Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and George Pickens, plus
Yeah.
they tried Pat Femerus or whatever. It's a pretty good receiving core. Probably means they don't want to pay Deontay Johnson though.
Cool. We'll pay him. Hopefully.
You think there's any shot that we still try to trade for a veteran receiver?
At this point, with our draft capital we got, I don't see who we can get. Like, who do you like? So it'd have to be with our third round pick. The only player we could maybe potentially try to pry away would be Kadarius Toney, and I don't think that the Jets are going to give him up for a third round pick. They're not going to eat a 2-round loss on a player after a 1-year first round pick. So,
I mean, when you look at the Giants, though, so yeah, I agree they probably don't want to take that loss, but they just took a second round wide receiver, and they paid big money to Kenny Galladay. Like maybe a Sterling Shepard or a Darius Slayton could be had for like a 7th rounder. And like, yeah, they're not superstars, but they're
Slayton got cut. Slayton's cut. Slayton got cut.
When?
I believe so. Let me double check. Alec Pierce just went. Fuck.
Damn.
Fuck.
Dude, I really liked Pierce's tape. I really liked him.
So what's funny is the Colts picked that right there. That was our pick. That was our second round pick right there. Right. So I want to just double check his tape again here while they're showing highlights. I like this kid's tape a lot.
Dude, I mean, the thing that immediately jumped out to me is like every single ball that comes his way, he just snags it with his
Look
hand.
at that one-handed grab he just made on the boundary there. That was he reminds me of Jordy Nelson. This guy looks like Jordy. Look at that catch radius. He barely hit the jump. I really like this kid a lot.
He's very.
He pushed his own teammate out of the way to get that ball.
Very fast. Yeah, I like him a lot. We could have had him if we sat still.
Would you rather have Christian Watson with what we gave up, or Alec Pierce plus whoever we could have got here and a few more picks?
Honestly, Alec Pierce plus the extra picks. Like, we gave up a lot for Christian Watson. I hope it pays off.
On tape, I mean, I don't see enough on tape between Pierce and Watson to warrant giving up that much more for it. Like the talent, like yeah, maybe Watson is the better prospect. I think I did have him ranked a little bit higher than Pierce, but like it wasn't a big gap between the two. Like it was almost like I'd be happy with either or. So to like give up an entire round basically to move up and to get one over the other, eh, probably not. But what do I know? I'm just an armchair quarterback who watched highlight videos. So hopefully he doesn't turn into a goddamn stud. Colts got some pretty nice receivers though, like powerful, big, tall receivers. They got Pittman, Pierce, and then who else did they draft there last year? Um, they have another. They took another first round receiver last year, I think. Hold on.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on.
I know they got like a speed guy in Paris Campbell, but he's not big.
Oh well, okay. Well, Paris Campbell was a second round pick for them though. So, but all right, Alec Pierce is off the board.
Yeah, man. I'm going back and I'm looking at how this round has played out so far, and I think I think I have to convince myself that like we believed Christian Watson was a cut above any other receiver left, and that we were afraid Chicago would take him. That's the only way I can justify
Must have
this
been.
jump up, because like we talked about it earlier. If we did a second and a third instead of both seconds, that could have gotten us all the way up to like the Seahawks pick. And that would have been before any other receiver was taken.
Mm-hmm.
Wandale Robinson was the next receiver taken after Watson. That was at pick 43.
Oh my God. You gotta wonder if the Chiefs are a little bummed here. Like the Chiefs might have been thinking, like, damn, Pickens and Pierce still on the board because they're up right now.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a run starting here because you got Patriots at 50, took Taekwon Thornton. And then Steelers at 52, took George Pickens. Colts at 53, Alec Pierce. So that's kind of the range to start another run.
Do you think I guarantee this isn't legit, but do you think Goot was just like, man, I'm fucking tired. Let's just get rid of these second round picks so I can go take a fucking nap and just get the shit over with early.
I think it's more likely that Aaron Rodgers was ready to burn down Lambeau Field if we didn't go get a guy he liked.
He kind of hinted at it last night in his speech in his Pat McAfee thing. He's like, I think at one point he kind of insinuated like we might trade up for receivers, like we're gonna go get one. Skye Moore. Wow, run on receivers right now.
Dude, I think Skye Moore is going to be a star in that offense. Let me read you my notes on Skye Moore because he was ranked as my top receiver. Like, not that I think he would like be the best overall receiver in the draft, but just like the stuff I liked about him, he seemed like a guy who would come in and contribute right away. So 5'10", 195, ran a 4.4. Really good route runner, creates a lot of separation from his man, catches the ball in stride without losing speed, deep threat speed, quick acceleration, good hands, runs a variety of routes. not afraid to take a hit over the middle at all. Like I watched him take some big hits and keep hold of the ball. Can catch in traffic, fights for every yard, excellent concentration. Body type looks more like a running back than a receiver. Um, so he's pretty thickly built. Oh wow, Cardinals already got a pick up here. It's usually we've been waiting like 10 minutes between picks.
Well, okay.
Drive.
There goes there goes top tight end off the board.
I guess they're thinking he learns under Zach Ertz. Do a 2 tight end set, and then you got Hopkins and
I feel like by the time Trey McBride actually, gets up to speed, Ertz might just his time might just be done.
man, I don't know. The
Look at that
Cardinals,
mullet. Look at that mullet.
that is
Wow. Holy hell yeah.
that is an impressive mullet. I don't know, man. The Cardinals seem to play fantasy football. Like they just want to stock up on a bunch of receivers and run a spread offense with Kyler Murray, and like that hasn't really done much for them the past few years. I'm not impressed with the Cardinals.
Cowboys on the clock. Buffalo up next. I did send a Zoom chat invite out to Ian again tonight.
Yeah, second round's a little harder to convince people to watch.
Yeah, unless you not too many people get hyped up on second rounds, unless you literally spend hours in the offseason actually researching players who could go in the second round like we did.
Dude, second round is like Packers have killed second round traditionally. Like
The second round is just as important as the first round is to the Packers. We've had just as much success in the second as we have in the first over the last few years. It's the third round that we fucking suck at. Bad. Like I can't remember the last time. I think the last time we had a third round pick that actually was a hit, the only one that comes to mind is James Jones. It's a long time. His career is done. So let me go back and I got some time to kill. Let me see history of Packers drafts and see when was the last time we had a good third round pick. Cowboys are taking
wouldn't surprise me if they go offensive line.
They did go offensive line in the first round though.
Oh yeah, you're right. They took Tyler Smith.
Yeah. Sam Williams, linebacker, Ole Miss. All right, let's see.
Randy Gregory replacement right there.
Third round. Let's see. 2021, we take Amari Rodgers. 2020, we took Josiah DeGora. He could still turn into something. 2019, we took Jay Sternberger, not even on the team anymore. 2018, we took Oren Burks. Couldn't cut it. 2017, we took Montravius Adams. Bust. 2016, we took Kyler Fackrell. He was okay. For what he was. 2015, we took Ty Montgomery. I mean, he's still in the league, just not for us. I guess, he's gonna probably have almost a 10-year career. I guess that's successful for a third round pick. 2014, we had two. We got Richard Rodgers and Kyrie Thornton. Thank God we took Devonte Adams in 2014. Otherwise, that would be the worst draft we've had in years. You remember that draft? We took Ha Ha Clinton Dix in the first. These were our picks in 2014. Ha Clinton Dix, Devonte Adams, Kyrie Thornton, Richard Rodgers, Carl Bradford, Corey Linsley, he worked out, Jared Abbrederis, Dimitri Goodson, and Jeff Janis.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah. 2013, we didn't have a third rounder. 2012, we didn't have a third rounder. 2011, Alex Green. Holy hell, remember Alex Green, the running back from Hawaii?
Keep going back, because now I just want to know, like, when's the last time we had, like, a Pro Bowler out of the
Yeah,
third?
2010, Morgan Burnett.
Okay, Morgan Burnett was a good pick.
2009, we didn't have one. 2008, we didn't even have a first round pick. We had 3 second round picks.
Yeah, because we traded back and took Jordy with the first.
Yeah. And we took Brian Brome, the quarterback, with the other one.
Yeah,
and then
little insurance policy there.
And then we took Pat Lee. I don't even fucking remember that guy.
Cornerback, right?
Yeah. From Auburn, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, man.
And then 2007, we took James Jones.
So we're looking at essentially 15 years of dog shit third round picks. Like maybe a couple in there that are decent. I'm starting to think maybe we ought to just trade out of the third round tonight and pick up some more fourths.
we did take Bao Ju in 2001 with a third round pick. I'm okay. In 1999, we took Mike McKenzie. He was really good. All right.
That's what we need out of a third round pick.
I loved Mike McKenzie. Him and Al Harris.
I really
dreadlock duo.
Dude, this defense is legit gonna be exciting.
Yeah. Can we talk about the defense a little bit while we got some time here? Like,
please,
holy fuck. They got me excited for the first time in a long time, especially with what they did last year. Holding San Francisco only 6 points in that playoff game. I mean, yeah, we lost Zadarius. Yeah, we lost Whitney Merciless. We gotta replace some edge rushers here in this draft. But man, we solidified, bolstered the defensive line. We got Kenny Clark in his prime right now. We got Jaron Reed coming in. He's a big body who can eat up some gaps. Going to free up and keep Kenny Clark a little bit healthier. TJ Slayton's in year 2. Hopefully he develops. He's a massive body. We got some big boys on this line now. Dean Lowry, who was just really productive last year. It was like his best year he's had for us.
Yeah, best career year.
Yeah. And now we add in Devonte Wyatt, a first round pick. Expectations are sky high for him. I watched some tape on him last night. I also watched tape on him earlier in the week. Man, his punch is nice for the guy. Like, he's got a quick, like, swim move into the backfield type move, really quick.
I read more than a few people who were of the opinion that Wyatt was the best defensive lineman on that Georgia defense.
I watched a film breakdown study that said he was better than Jordan Davis.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's hear this.
I'm seeing with the Bucks.
And I want to go through the defense.
This was the Bills pick. The Bills traded.
I haven't heard of this guy.
Nope.
All right then. Yeah, so going back to the defense, I mean, we'll start, like you said, starting in the trenches there. Kenny Pickett is obviously, Kenny Clark is obviously the straw that stirs the drink there, and we're probably going to try to move him around a lot this year, because we do have guys like Slayton and Reed who can play at the nose and allow Kenny to move. And then we'll have a fresh rotation with Lowry and Wyatt in there. And then you go out to our linebackers. The starting 4 there, if you're looking at Rashawn Gary, Devondre Campbell, Quay Walker, Preston Smith, that is pass rush, that is coverage, that is solid tackling, that is blitzing, that is the whole package. Like that is the potential to be the best linebacking corps of my Green Bay Packers lifetime, I think.
We might actually have an inside linebacking core that's like could be similar to the Bucks with Levante David and
Devin White.
Devin White. I mean, that's
So I read that Joe Barry back in the day he actually used to coach on the Super Bowl Bucks team back with when they had Warren Sapp and their linebackers there was Derek Brooks and they had another guy his name is slipping my mind right now, but they had a good pair of linebackers, and I guess like some of that thinking went into Joe Barry, what he wants out of his defense. But yeah, man, you look at that front seven, like I don't think we're just gonna get run on like we have in the past. We certainly have pass rush ability, and then you get a playmaking secondary led by Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes, Rasul Douglas, Adrian
Rasul
Amos,
Douglas.
Darnell Savage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude,
We're
we
deep.
are stacked at every level of defense.
We're good, and we're deep. If this defense stays healthy, man, we top 10 defense this year.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I want to come out of this draft with a third edge rusher and a third safety because I think that fills out the depth where like even if we do get an injury, we can still maintain elite level of play.
This is how we win a Super Bowl with Rodgers' final years left, I believe. We need to have an elite defense. Sure. Wow. Falcons still passing on quarterbacks every chance they get.
Dude, what if we go like through the entire third round without another quarterback being taken? That would have to be an NFL history first.
Fuck it. Take Green Bay. Just take Malik Willis then. I don't care. Gives us like fine. I'm fine with that. We'll start over fresh.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I'm kind of wondering at this point, like, are we getting into historic territory as far as the lack of quarterbacks being taken this deep in the drafts?
I'll look into it.
This Troy Anderson feller looks like he should be driving trucks for a living. All right, I'm gonna take a quick peek at the remaining big board.
In 1996, there was no quarterbacks taken in the first round. I'm looking in the second. Okay, one in the second. (1996) was the last time something like this happened. In 96, there was no QB taken in the first round. There was one quarterback taken in the second round. That was Tony Banks, the quarterback. I believe he ended up playing for the Ravens for much of his career. So this is the Vikings pick. This was our pick that we traded to them. This was our second one.
Maybe they'll take a kicker. I've never heard of this dude.
Same. There's a guard from UCLA named Sean Ryan, who
I have heard of him.
Yes, I am. He would be a player of interest for me in the third if he's there. I see he's starting to creep up on the best available though. I don't know if he will slip to us. Buffalo is up next.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the big board right now of who is available, and it's still falling as defensive heavy at the top. This might just be a draft where the way it falls, like the best value is always going to be defense for us. But I mean, there's still a few guys on this board who I routinely saw mocked in the first round. Looking at like Travis Jones on the defensive
Yeah,
line.
he's a big boy too. He could eat up some blocks.
You mentioned earlier the Bernhard Raymond, the offensive tackle.
Surprise, yeah. Abraham Lucas.
Yep, Lucas is another promising one. Edge rusher Drake Jackson, Perry and Winfrey on the
Yep,
defensive.
the defense tackle from Oklahoma.
DeMarvin Leal on the defensive line.
Yep.
Nick Benito, edge rusher. Yeah, there's some good defensive talent out there.
Leo Chenal, linebacker from Wisconsin, still on the board.
I don't think we're taking another linebacker, bro.
No, we're done with at least inside linebacker for sure.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how safeties are going to be looking here for us in the third round. If that's going to be something that we. All I know is I want no part of our third round picks anymore. Like just trade up, trade up in the second round where you have way better luck. Clearly, third round is just bad juju.
Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't put much stock into it. I'm like, oh, that's just, that's an old wives' tale kind of thing. But actually hearing you like read through 15 years of third round picks and how bad they,
Almost plus 15-year plus.
yeah, that's I think I'm probably okay moving out of the third round.
Shit, I'd be cool even going back and get. How much you want to bet? We do just trade back. We end up. I stay up watching this whole damn draft just for us to trade back out and get like 2 fourth-round picks or something like that.
Would not surprise me at all, man.
We might not see Green Bay pick again the rest of the night.
Well, also, not for nothing, but depending on the pace of this draft, I may not be able to go through the whole thing because I do have somewhere to be tonight.
Okay.
So they seem to. Well, we're 2 hours in now, and they're almost through the second. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to do the full third, so maybe we should just call it at the end of the second,
Okay. That works for me.
and then watch as soon as we quit. Green Bay like trades up to the top of the third.
If it happens, I'll tell you what, guys. If it happens, I will do my best to get Cody back on for a quick 5-10 minute just chat analysis on our third round pick if we move up, if there's time. But I doubt we move up. All right, so we got like 4 more picks then left in the second here. Bengals run. Wait, the Bills traded back again. This was the Bills pick, and they traded again. They must not like anyone.
Yeah, it is interesting to seeing the number of teams that have traded back multiple times. I know Ian's probably freaking out right now. Last night he kept saying how he didn't want late round picks. They're not going to make the Bills roster. Just pack them all up for a higher pick.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to see what the Bills are getting for trading back yet again.
Man, we still got 32 picks until we're on the clock again.
Basically, the whole freaking draft again. A whole round.
All I know is Aaron Rodgers and Christian Watson better be working together every single day this off season.
They better be working out right now. You better be, Aaron Rodgers better bought him a plane ticket already out to Malibu, and they're working on it right now. Oh, did you hear Rodgers? Not for nothing, talk about his hairstyle he's going to do this year.
No, I didn't hear.
He's going to continue to grow his hair out so he can go with the Nick Nick Cage look in Con Air.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, Bengals pick is in. They desperately need offensive line help, and they did not address it in the first round.
There. That's going to be our quarterback this year, dude.
All right,
Wow.
another dude I've never heard of. Oh man, the mock draft media has been off this year. I wonder if COVID kind of just like threw things off.
Damn. It could be. I still can't figure out what Buffalo got for their pick, but for train back again, by the way.
Yeah, you also got to wonder how far back they traded because, like, if it, I
Hey,
don't
the
know,
Bill
I don't
the,
know if the Bengals had multiple third round picks.
the Bills probably have QBs at the top of their board right now.
Wouldn't it be funny if San Francisco takes like Malik Willis here? Like,
Oh yeah.
Trey Lance was a bust, guys.
Okay, looks like the Bills are they got pick 31 here in the second round. Yeah, so there they are. They just showed up. They're after KC here to couple picks. So they moved back about 4 spots again. So they probably just picked up another like 6th round pick.
Dude, what
You
do you
want
think the chances are that we try to sign like an Antonio Brown?
none. None.
No, no chance at all.
I don't think Antonio Brown plays a game ever again in the NFL.
I mean, he keeps getting chances despite all the crazy stuff he's done in every one of his stops.
Yeah, I think his combination of age now finally and just the fact that like there is just an issue, like issue after issue after issue. No, I don't think he plays again. If Tom Brady can't get that man to
Yeah.
behave, I don't think anyone will. Aaron Rodgers sure ain't going to. And can you imagine? Could you imagine the craziness that he would just come up with in his own head being stuck in Green Bay?
Be kind of entertaining to watch, wouldn't it?
If you want to watch Lambeau burn, he would start fires in the locker room, probably.
Um. Okay, so here's a different question. OBJ.
I would love OBJ. However, that man literally tore his ACL in the Super Bowl. That's
Yeah.
February.
Yeah. No. So if you sign him, it's for the playoffs. He's not going to play the regular season.
Yeah, which means he's also going to be missing all of the training camp, all the conditioning, all of like he's gonna he's not even gonna have like the second half of a regular season to like get acclimated and develop a little bit of chemistry with your quarterback. Like he still had, the last 6, 7 weeks of the regular season to develop some chemistry with Matt Stafford. I don't see it,
I
dude.
mean,
I
I'm
mean, I
just
don't.
saying though, like
It could happen, but
if you could do an incentive laden deal where it's like vet minimum, but like, hey, if we win the Super Bowl, you're gonna get like a $10 million bonus or something. Um, like I'm just looking at it as like a cost effective way to help the playoff push Because I don't know, man. The wide receiver market is pretty barren right now. You got Julio Jones. Um, I think AJ Green is out there. Jarvis Landry.
No. AJ
Don't.
Green resigns.
Oh, okay. Jarvis Landry's out there, but we don't need another slot.
Will
Um,
Fuller's still out there, but now with Christian Watson signing and Sammy Watkins signing, I don't think Will Fuller's going to fit that bill.
dude, I'm so pissed that we didn't figure this Devonte thing out a few days earlier because we could have had Amari Cooper for a 5th-round pick. Not that I'm like in love with Amari Cooper, but he's a legit number one. Like we'd be in much better shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I would easily give up a 5th-round pick for Amari Cooper. I think there's zero chance we trade for a like a Debo or a DK Metcalf. One
Yeah, I
where
mean,
get
at this point, I think you would have to be trading like a 1st-round pick
future.
next year.
Yeah. And you would have to pay them
Yeah,
25 plus million.
this guy looks like he needs glasses. Drake Jackson. I've heard good things about him. Has some good like natural twitch tools as a pass rusher. Very 49ers pick. They want to make life miserable for opposing quarterbacks.
I'm holding out hope that a guy like Juwan Winfrey or Malik Taylor can, actually like really show even more improvement and become a contributor for us. That guy's a linebacker. Holy hell, that guy looks like a goddamn nose tackle.
Yeah, he looks pretty big there. um, yeah, no, I think Winfrey has the tools and he showed some flashes last year, but didn't get a lot of opportunity. Um, he came up pretty big for us in the Cardinals game where Devonte was out. Um, but he also did have a fumble. But young
Mm-hmm.
guys are gonna make mistakes. Yeah, I think we're probably the coaching staff probably really likes Winfrey. Um, yeah, I mean that's the thing though. It's just like when we look at our roster, there's plenty of receivers who I like as role players, but I still just don't know that we have like that number one who's gonna take the
Mm-hmm.
top, who's gonna help dictate coverage.
I
And
don't.
maybe we don't get that. Maybe we have
I
to
uh, I don't
all year.
think anything we do at this point we're not gonna be able to get that. There's nothing we could. We're gonna have to scheme guys open, as you were saying.
I mean, I think the one potential shot is like maybe you could still find a tight end um who who dictates coverage in a way because typically you can find them later. Um but realistically, rookie tight ends very rarely do much, and I don't really know what the trade market for a tight end would be like. It sounds like Darren Waller is off the market. Uh, I don't know. Would the Niners part with George Kittle? Probably not. Um,
Mm-mm. Doubtful. No, because tight ends seem to be like that, like the affordable receiving threat like option right now. Like teams aren't going to want to give those up because they're still under a decent contract. They're giving up. There hasn't been a free agent tight end that's like broken the market until there's a free agent tight end that breaks the market and like basically like the Christian Kirks and the Devonte Adams are the dudes who just freaking ruined it caused it. It's like the domino effect that caused this whole thing. As soon as the Jags and Christian Kirk got $20 million, all these other receivers were like, dude, I'm worth a whole lot more than $20 million. I can't believe Christian Kirk's making $20 million.
He's a number 3 receiver. That's insane to me.
The Jags are assholes.
They are.
They ruined it.
They're ruining it for the rest of the league.
Yeah. They, in a way, ruined it for Green Bay, too. Like, we were trying to find some reason not to have to pay that guy $30+ million a year and to prove to the rest of the league that paying DeAndre Hopkins the $27 million was an anomaly. And then when Christian Kirk goes and gets $20 million a year, it doesn't make a good argument that, those other receivers shouldn't be getting at least 30. So thanks, Jacksonville. Asshole.
I'm curious if Miami hadn't franchise tagged their tight end there, Mike Gesicki or whatever. I wonder how much he would have made on the market.
Probably about 15 million, I'm guessing. Which is, I think, that's kind of like what Kelsey and Andrews and stuff is making.
Yeah, and actually, it is interesting. Like when you think about, Gesicki's like he's good, but he's not elite. And then you look at like the Browns, they franchise tagged David Njoku, who like he's been nothing but a few random flashes of promise throughout his career. So I guess you're kind of right. Teams are trying to hang on to the tight ends.
Would you? I mean, it ain't gonna happen, but I'll throw it out there. Would you? Would you put on a full court press to really, really try to convince Gronk into just playing a year in Green Bay to chase a ring? Like try to convince him, because I don't think it happens. Because one, he loves Tom Brady. Two, he loves the weather in Florida, and he arguably has just as good of a chance, pretty good chance to win another Super Bowl in Tampa as he does in Green Bay. I don't think it happens, but I'm at least making that call and trying.
I think Gronkowski, he either plays for Tampa or retires. And dude, like even if we could get him somehow, I think he's a supplemental piece at this point in his career. Like he's not going to dictate coverage in the way that Travis Kelce does. Like he's a great red zone threat, but
I tell you what,
given all his injuries and everything,
I think if Sammy Watkins can stay healthy, and that's a big if, that man's missed like 27 games over the last,
we
5
we gotta
years.
start injecting him with some
Yeah.
on right away.
If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to have the opportunities to arguably have one of the best seasons of his career.
Yeah.
It's a big if, though. Bill's pick is in. They are picking Stevie Johnson.
Stevie Johnson, forgot that guy existed. I don't know who this white dude next to him with the weird hat and sunglasses is.
James Cook. Oh, they took Dalvin Cook's younger brother.
All right. It's a good pick for them. The dude does not look happy to be going to Buffalo, though. Yeah, he does not look happy at all right now.
Because he knows Josh Allen's going to steal all of his fucking touchdowns.
That was a bizarre family shot there. Looks like the mother got in and started yelling at people to back off. Dude, I mean, Bills have to have one of the most complete teams in the NFL right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Mel Kiper had team needs. He's been doing all these teams all week or all the last 2 nights. All he had was cornerback listed on there for Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, I know they took one last night. They could probably use another. All right, last pick of the second round. Broncos pick is in. Who are they going to give Russell Wilson?
So, did you watch any tape on Dalvin Cook's little brother?
No. Nick Bonito goes to the Broncos with the last pick of the second round. He's an edge guy who I read a lot of things with him getting mocked to the Packers at the end of the second. Come on. Actually, I think we ought to stick around just because. All right, so Jacksonville, their pick is in right now, and Minnesota actually picks right after them. So, do we want to at least see Minnesota's?
Yeah, I want to at least see how bad Minnesota can fuck this up.
Yep, we're gonna be waiting a long time until we pick again. All right, come on, guys. We don't need to do the national anthem here. I don't.
Wow, James Cook is he's under 200 pounds. That's pretty light for a running back.
Yeah, that
He's
is.
199 pounds.
All right, that's not like terrible. But yeah, like his brother is. I'm pretty sure Delvin Cook's like 220.
Yeah, I was just reading. He said about 10, 15 pounds lighter than his brother.
Oh my God,
Why are we doing this?
pick. Like, why did they have to make this spectacle of all this non-football related stuff?
Oh
Here's a
my
question
God.
for you.
Go ahead, ask it.
If Trevor Lawrence doesn't look good this year, do you think Jacksonville pulls the plug and drafts a new QB next year?
No. No, I think they'll give him two full years.
Well, yeah, this would be 2 full years if he
Like
doesn't.
no, like this year and then like next
Oh,
year.
gotcha.
Like they'll give him 3 years in the system. I mean, he is learning a whole new offensive system again right now. Like, hopefully, I mean, I'll be honest, for like my own personal bias, I took that guy I literally um lost every game in a dynasty season 2 years ago on purpose to try to get Trevor Lawrence, and I got him. So for my own personal reasons, I wasted the whole year so I can get Trevor Lawrence, and I got him. So I hope that the dude pans out. However, he's learned a whole new offensive system now. Now Doug Peterson's there. Um, he was supposed to be with what's his face there, Ohio State coach, but not Ohio State coach, his college coach there, but Didn't work out. I don't know. He's got all the tools. I think you'll see him improve. I mean, Peyton Manning had terrible first season too. Lots of picks. Worked out pretty good for them.
Yeah. Could be a Ryan Leaf though. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Hey, he's got a $20 million Christian Kirk to throw to now. Oh, actually, I did hear that Jacksonville might be who's that? Laviska Chenault could be had. Have you ever watched any tape on Laviska Chenault?
Yeah, no, I remember he was a second round pick, what, a couple years ago.
2 years ago.
And he was kind of like a poor man's Deebo Samuel.
Yeah. He could be someone that could maybe be had in a trade.
I'd roll the dice if it's cheap enough.
Could likely still have him for, like maybe a 4th round pick or something. Still on his rookie deal.
I don't know if I'd give a 4th, maybe a 5th. I mean, if Jacksonville's already trying to cut bait and it's not like their receiver room's stacked, like who else do they have? Christian Kirk, Zay Jones.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you in a second. Marvin Jones.
Yeah, I mean that's nothing to write home about in that receiver room.
Laquan Treadwell.
All right, so pick is in for Jacksonville. Luke Fortner, center from Kentucky.
Okay. All right. Oh, they have Evan Ingram too.
Oh yeah, they signed him for tight end this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Vikings wasted no time. Linebacker
Brian Asamoah.
Never heard of him. All
right.
Well, I guess we'll call it there, my friends. We came out of day 2 with Christian Watson and whoever we get at pick 92, assuming we stay there.
Yeah. Oh wait, Minnesota just traded up again.
What?
Never mind. No, they didn't. It was just a little turnover from last one. Never mind. Okay.
Because I mean they've been stockpiling so many picks. Got ammunition now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we got Christian Watson. Let's turn it away.
All right. Let's hope he becomes DK Metcalf for us.
Okay.